Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing a review of another comic that was sent to me a little while back by Chris, aka the Mount Vernon Kid. Chris, thank you so much for this comic and the others. And we're going to be talking about the second volume of New Superman. About a month or so ago, I had done New Superman, the first volume. If you don't know who New Superman is the Chinese Superman. Who is this kid named Kong Kenan who joins a group called the Ministry of Self-Reliance, and they've created like Chinese knockoffs of other members of the Justice League. Like you have a Wonder Woman, you have a Batman, and yeah. Now in the previous volume, Kong's father was turned out to be the leader of this villain group, who actually was a group trying to bring about democracy to communist China. But he appeared that he died. It turned out he didn't, and instead, what had happened was the head of the directorate is keeping him alive. So yeah, so here we are with the team, more or less going out into the world, and this volume is called Coming to America, which is again which is no doubt in my mind a reference to the Eddie Murphy movie. So this movie is the first time we get to see characters from on the American soil. Lex Luthor does play a major part in this storyline. He plays a major point and kind of talking about like where Kong's powers come from, because his powers actually don't he's not Kryptonian. You got to remember, this guy is not Kryptonian, and instead he is actually something. He's actually something else. He's actually a more his powers actually. This is where this volume is actually the main crux of it. Does focus on. The main focus on his power actually comes from the gates of the human body, like the chakras, and we go a little more deeper into it, and his powers are more unlocked to mysticism. And Luthor actually did have a hand in creating his power. So the story is pretty fun. Kong is still kind of an obnoxious dick like the last episode, but here he's starting to learn like more about himself and starting to become more like the hero we expect him to be. I also like that he gets to have like a great moment with Clark. He gets to have more time learning about who he is and what that means. And yeah, also this volume is more about setup than anything else. We get to see the Chinese version of the Flash, and we get to see this new villain who's kind of setting up things, who does have ties to Kong's new martial arts master. But it's kind of funny because if that looks familiar, that's because that was one of the first DC comics. And yeah, it's kind of a racist caricature. Yeah, you can't defend that, but Gene Yun Lang, who is the writer of this book, and most of you guys would know him from like American Born Chinese, as well as the Avatar books over at Dark Horse, and he did Shang-Chi, the Shang-Chi books. So they're all very good. They're all very well put together. The storyline, like I said, is more about like talking about the other characters, as well as talking about the new Superman Zero, which was the experiment before Kong, and actually showed up in the end of the the end of the New 52 Superman, which like that whole thing about New 52 Superman, but then it's pre-52 Superman, but we just rolled it into that one. Yeah, that was a whole thing we try not to think about, but he was involved in that. So yeah. It's a pretty decent book. Like I said, Kong is kind of a, for lack of a better word, an asshole who really still can't get his head on straight, and he's still like kind of flopping around like, I'm new Superman, I can just do whatever I want. And when he's meeting his sensei for the first time and like he's encountering him, he gets so frustrated, he like grabs chunks of debris and starts throwing it at him. I'm like, dude, you don't know that he's like some super fast Tai Chi master. You could possibly kill him. I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're at like a 10, and you need to be you're like at a 10, you need to be at like a 4, 4.5 tops right now. But yeah, so that's so that in and of itself is the kind of the main crux of the story, is that it's all about like setup for future stuff. There is a big reveal, and this volume leaves on a cliffhanger. I will say that this does leave on a major cliffhanger that delves more with Kong's like family. But yeah, this is, like I said, we get to build up more to like Amanda Waller, like running into the Suicide Squad, confrontation with the Justice League. It's all here. I'm kind of looking forward. If Chris sends me the other 2 volumes, I'm very much looking forward to see where this story goes. But yeah, if you want to check out like a fun Superman character, here you go, New Superman. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it if you've read it? Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.